be in God's house? Amen. That's just my microphone. Amen. If you don't mind, I'm going to have Brother Arnold John lead something on his heart this morning. He's going to come up real quick. And we're going to pray. We're going to get on in. Everybody, if you don't mind, stand to your feet. Raise your hands and say, God, give me ears to hear. Speak to my heart. In Jesus' name I pray.
Hey everybody, we're going to take a special offering for our pastor this morning. I feel like God has laid this on my heart. You know, he went out and had to get a job and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm not trying to get in their business or something, but I just feel like it's struggling. And it needs some help. If y'all don't mind, can, you know, just give. If you got it, don't, you know, God bless you anyway, you know.
We're having technical difficulties.
It's my fault. Sorry.
Brother Bob.
Pastor Bobby. you don't mind, look at your neighbor real quick and just tell them, say, I got a feeling God is going to do something this morning. Get ready. I was watching a TV show the other day, and there was something that was said in that TV show that just really grabbed me. And it was Smallville. If y'all ever seen Smallville? I've never watched Smallville. I wasn't around when Smallville first came out, so I'm catching up and I'm watching all the episodes of Smallville. And this is the time when Clark Kent first found out that he had X-ray vision. Y'all know Superman, he has X-ray vision. Y'all know that, right? Superman, he can do that kind of stuff. And can I tell you something? When you get saved and when you come into the presence of God, you start seeing the spiritual side of things all around you. You see all the hell going on all around you. And Superman, in the show, he got really upset because he's a teenage boy, he's in high school, he's young. And the girl he really loves with all his heart, who's just infatuated with, he sees her boyfriend kissing her on the show, and it just breaks his heart. And he looks at his mom, and he said, Mom, what would you do if you could see everything around you? If you could see things that you didn't want to see, what would you do, Mom, if that was you? And she looked at him, she said, I learned to close my eyes. Can I tell you this morning, church, I'm going to challenge you as we worship, just close your eyes to all the hell that's going on around you in life right now. You are in a safe place. God has a plan for you, and He's got a purpose for you. And can I tell you, your tomorrow is supposed to be better than your yesterday. God has called you to a place of victory, but as Christians, we've got to learn to close our eyes. Because the devil will come and he'll distract and he'll beat up and he'll destroy. And he'll get us so off focus from what God's perfect plan with us that before long we don't even realize it, but we're chasing everything but God. God has a plan. He has a purpose.
You
walking the same old road for miles and miles. Are you tired yet? You hear the same old voice and the same old lies. You keep trying to fill the same old hole inside. There's a better life. There's a better life. You got He's a pain taker. It's like a flood comes rolling down. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in all of you. I'm in all of you. Where your love ran red and my sin was I'll join
And sometimes we look for all those answers in the wrong places. Amen? Sometimes we expect Him to answer in certain ways, and He don't answer in those ways. Pastor John and I've got a couple of cars up there on the hill. Every once in a while we'll buy a car and we'll fix it and we'll sell it to help meet the need. And I was thinking, okay, we're going to sell one of these cars, but guess what? I couldn't get it fixed in time. And the reason I couldn't get it fixed in time is because God had other plans. Amen. Thank you for your obedience this morning. Thank you for hearing the voice of God. Thank you for loving us that much. We love you. This morning, Pastor John's got a word for us. I want you to open your ears, open your spiritual ears to hear the word of God this morning. Listen, we can let it hear, we can let our physical flesh ears hear this, and guess what? It's going to go in one ear and right out the other. As a matter of fact, why don't you do this for me? Stick your finger in one ear. Now, if we listen to the message with one ear, it's going to get in, but it can't get out, right? Listen with your spiritual ears this morning. Father, we just lift you up, and we praise you for your love for us. We thank you, Holy Spirit, for being in the house this morning. Now finish the work in us that you began. And Lord, I pray that you would change our lives forever. Change us, God, so that when we leave this place, we're not the same people that we were when we came in. Change us, Father, from the inside out, and we'll glorify you. Anoint your word and anoint your messenger this morning. In Jesus' name, and all these people said, Amen.
Amen, church. You excited to be in the house of God this morning? Look at you next and say, God has a plan. And you're part of it. Say, I want to be in the remnant. I want to be part of the ones that God chooses. I told Pastor Donnie one time we were talking about the resurrection. I said, you know, the saddest thing in the world is to come and God come and He does the resurrection. I got this world so heavy on me that I can't be lifted off the ground. Could you imagine being so bogged down in this society and in what we live in that we can't be lifted off the ground? I'm going to start with one of the scriptures. It's the most popular verse that anybody ever hear. And it's Jeremiah 29:11. Everybody knows that scripture, right? I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. It says, thoughts of peace and not evil, to give you a future and a hope. Yeah, I know Jeremiah. You know what his name was? Jeremiah, of course. But you know what he was known as? The weeping prophet. How in the world does a prophet write still words be considered the weeping prophet? I was at work the other day, and I had this guy that worked for me, and we ended up having to let him go. But he told me when I interviewed him that he was a pastor, and I just lost my mic. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Okay. He told me he was a pastor. He said, I'm a preacher. I said, praise God. That's good. And the first weekend, he called in twice. And then he came up to me on Saturday and he said, or Friday, he said, Pastor, I'm not going to be, or boss, I'm not going to be here this weekend. I'm like, okay, that's fine. What's going on? He said, I got to go preach up in South Carolina. I said, well, praise God. You know, I'm going to pray God's blessings to go with you. So he goes and he comes back that Monday, and I pull him aside, and I'm like, you know, we call him Fast Eddie because he never slowed down. I said, Fast Eddie. I said, how was church? He goes, man, it was good. It was great. God just moved. And I said, really? I said, man, that's awesome. Praise God. He goes, well, what denomination are you, Pastor, or boss? He told me boss. He didn't call me pastor. I'm sorry. And he goes, I said, well, I don't like denomination. I tell people that, you know, I said, I'm at an Assembly of God church now, but I grew up Baptist, and I lean more to the Pentecostal, so I just claim to be Baptist-costal and be right in the middle. And he started laughing. He goes, well, do y'all have musical instruments? I said, yeah. We got musical instruments. He goes, well, then you know you're going to hell. And I looked at him and said, what? And he goes, yeah, man, it's an obedience thing. And I was like, what's an obedience thing? He said, and come to find out, he's Church of Christ. I got a lot of friends that are Church of Christ. And can I tell you, I never had a Church of Christ friend tell me I was going to hell because I played the guitar. So he goes, yeah, the Word tells us this and this and this. And I'm like, okay. I said, but the Word tells us, you know, that God, worship God with the drums and the cymbals and the clink, you know, the stringed instruments. Well, that's Old Testament. I was like, well, I believe the whole Bible, you know. I said, but I just want to, I said, Eddie, you know what? I said, man, I'm not going to get in an argument with you about this. I don't want theology to divide us. I said, so, you know what? Do you believe Jesus Christ has been crucified? Absolutely. I said, do you believe the only way to heaven is through Him? Yes. His Son died on the cross and rose on the third day. Yeah, I believe that. I said, then we can just disagree on everything. He goes, no, you can't. You're going to go to hell if you don't listen to me. And I'm like, Eddie, I'm not going to hell. You know, I know God. And I know the God in me, you know. And he was so busy and so wrapped up in that turned into anger in his life. I mean, literally. It was like flipping a switch on this guy's life. And then before long, you know, I walked away and said, you know, I'm not going to argue with you about this. I'm glad that God blessed you. I'm glad God did what He needed to do at your meeting. I'm glad y'all had a good church service, buddy. I just pray God's blessings over you. And I'll walk away. Because people watch. You know, people watch us. They see how we handle ourselves. So I walked away, and a couple of days go by, and Eddie's just got that chip on his shoulder. You know, he's just mad. And I'm praying, I'm keeping my mouth shut because, you know, this is the first station that we've opened outside of our corporate store. And God's given me favor, and I'm building a team. All the team that we have is new hires. They don't know the company. They don't know what's going on. And you can't manage everybody the same. So I'm asking God, give me grace, give me grace, give me grace. Give me grace. Because the physical side of me wanted to come right back. But the spiritual side was keeping me in check. And we ended up having a meeting. And in the middle of the meeting, Eddie just blew up on everybody. And I'm like, Eddie, you know, you just stop. I said, you know, we'll talk about it after the meeting. Just stop. And then he just started calling out everybody again, and they wasn't doing their jobs, and if he was the boss. And I mean, all this stuff's going on. And I finally said, Eddie, you know what? You just need to clock out and you need to go home for the day. And then he just blew up again. And I'm trying to save the guy and his job. And he takes off and he starts cussing, walking across the shop and into the sales side and back across. And I come out from the meeting and I walk out the door. And I'm still walking in my spirit. Even though my flesh is starting to rise up. I'm still walking in my spirit. And I walk outside and I'm like, Eddie, we need to talk. And he turned around and goes, I'm not talking to you. I'm clocked out. You can talk to me when I'm on the clock. And I'm like, okay, Eddie. I said, but we really need to talk about this. And he turns around and he just starts bull rushing straight at me. And I back up and I keep my hands down in my pockets. And I'm not going to have this confrontation. I'm walking in the Spirit. I'm letting God lead me in what I'm dealing with and in the situation. And he jumps up in my face and he starts pointing his finger in my face and just cussing and going on. And I'm outside the showroom now. And I'm just standing there. And he's just going on. And I'm not even trying to argue with him. I'm just letting him go. And one of my advisors, one of the people that we just hired, he came out and he stood by me because he thought Eddie was about to swing on me. And then Nika, one of the female advisors, she runs against the manager off the south side saying, you know, there's an issue over here, you need to come out. And he comes out because she thought Eddie was going to swing on me. And I'm just sitting there, hands in my pocket, doing what I do. And they come out, and we end up having to get Eddie off the lot. And I get all the guys in the room, and I'm trying to bring peace back into the situation. And then back into my team, and calm everybody down. One of them looks at me, and we call him G. He calls himself Mr. Fashion. He's one of the guys we hired and brought in, and G had done some prison time like I did prison time. And G told me, he said, John, man, we don't let people back us up like that. How in the world did you keep yourself in check? I know when we've been where we've been, you don't get pushed in the corner without coming back out. And I looked at G, and it was like the Holy Spirit just came all over me, and I said, because bruises heal. That's right. But eternity's forever. That's right. And somebody needs to see Jesus. And I want to talk to you this morning about people seeing Jesus in you. And understand that the bruises of this life will heal. That's right. But your eternity is forever. That's right. The way you live your life is forever. Amen. That is what we're going to be judged on. This weeping prophet Jeremiah that we talked about. Jeremiah, for those that don't know, he was a young man. Man, he was young when God first called him out. And he actually started tag teaming with the king of Israel named Josiah. Everybody say Josiah. Josiah was one of the youngest kings that Israel ever had. His father was wicked, but Josiah knew what his grandpa was. And his grandpa was a pretty amazing king. One of the best kings that Israel had, even though they were all wicked. It was sad because when you read the genealogy of it all, it says this king was more wicked than the one before. This king was more wicked. It never said it was a good king. It just said this is more wicked or better. And then Josiah's great-grandpa, though, he actually turned to God in his later years. Josiah remembered hearing the stories of it all. Well, Josiah's dad turned away from God. And he started raising up idols and these false places of worship. And there was a big issue because the kingdom of God, Israel, God's chosen people have been divided between the north and the south. And the people didn't want, the king of Israel didn't want people going down to Judah. And Judah didn't want them going up to Israel because there was an issue that if they go down there, they might stay and I might lose my people. So they said, instead of them going to the house of God and worshiping like God commanded in Jerusalem, we're going to put places of worship in the high places, in the mountains. And I'm going to create these false places that people can go and worship. And I tell you, these false places you can go and worship. Even today. Because people told you can go worship there, go worship there. But can I tell you, there's a truth to God's Word. There's a holiness to God's Word. There's a right and there's a wrong in God's Word. And we do preach love, but we don't preach tolerance. Because tolerance means you accept something. Can I tell you, God is not going to accept things just because we think He should accept things. God is a God of holiness, and He's a God of truth. And if you want to chase Him and you want to love Him, you're going to have to learn to do that. So what happened is, when these people started worshiping in these different places, guess what happened in their life? All hell broke loose. All hell broke loose in the kingdom. Everything happened. And it said that even at the place where God was supposed to be worshipped, these false gods started getting there. These false idols started being worshipped in these places. And it said that the temple of God was actually destroyed Because people wanted to chase these false gods and these false idols more than they wanted to chase the God. Well, Josiah's dad passes away. And if I remember correctly, he's about anywhere from 8 to 12 years old. But he ends up being the king. And the first thing he wants to do is, I want to rebuild the house of God. I want to make this place right again. And it says as they're digging through there, they find the book of Moses. And they come and he starts having them read the book of Moses and he starts seeing what happened. And Jeremiah kind of locks hands with Josiah during this time in this era, in this history. And he tells him, he says, you know what? Josiah says, look, I'm going to deal with the inner circle, but Jeremiah, I need you to go out and evangelize. I need you to go out and prophesy. I need you to go out and speak the truth to people that don't want to listen because they've been hearing what's wrong their whole time. Right. And I need you to go tell them what's truth. And I need you to tell them what's holy. And I want you to tell them what's real, Jeremiah. And so Josiah takes off and he starts evangelizing. He starts preaching. And he's excited because he's a young preacher. And he's been trained his whole life to go out and tell people about Jesus. Right. About the prophet, about what God is and who God is. So he goes out and he's full of excitement. And he goes out and he starts preaching and teaching. And he's feeling good because some people's hearts are turning back to God. And some people are turning back to truth. And he gets to the point where he's saying, I want to go back, I need to rest. I need to go back to the people that taught me. I need to go and I need to learn. And I've been preaching this truth that they told me. And I've been preaching what I know God's doing. And I'm excited about what God's doing in my life. So I want to go back and I want to find rest for a season. And when that happens, this is what happens. Go to that scripture that I showed you earlier. 18. Yeah, I believe that's right. The first set that I gave you. No, the other one. What was the other scripture? Yeah. In the beginning of the reign of Jeroboam, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, came this word to the Lord, saying, Jeremiah is still preaching hard. Thus saith the Lord God, stand in the courts of the Lord's house, and speak unto all the cities of Judah which you came to worship in that Lord's house. And all the words that I command thee, speak unto them, diminish not a word. So God's commanded Jeremiah, preach it. If so be, they will hearken and they will turn every man from his evil way, that I may repent of the evil which I purpose to do to them because of their evil doings. And thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord, if you will not hearken to me, to walk in my law which I have set before you, to hearken to the words of my servants the prophets who I have sent to you, both rising up early and sending them down. If you just hearken, if you'll just listen to the truth, is what Jeremiah is preaching. If you'll just listen, then I will make this house like Shiloh, and I will make the city a curse because you're not listening, you're not changing, you're not lining up. And I will curse the nations. So the priests and the prophets and the people heard Jeremiah speaking. So it said the who? The priests, they preached. The prophets and all the people heard Jeremiah speaking these words in the house of the Lord. He's speaking exactly what God commanded him to say. He's doing everything God told him to do. It said, now it came to pass when Jeremiah made an end of the speaking, all that the Lord had commanded him to speak unto all the people, that the priests, the prophets, and all the people took him, saying, thou shalt surely die. Jeremiah just got finished preaching exactly what God told him in the temple. He said, look, guys, you're going the wrong way. Change. Chase God. If you'll chase God, God's got mercy. He's got grace. He's got a plan. He's got a purpose for you. Right. If you'll just change. But the people were so set in their heart. They were so set in their mind. They said, you know what? We heard what he said. This kid's got to die. We got to kill this guy. It wasn't the world. It was the priests, the prophets, and the people. We got to kill the truth of God. That's right. We got to kill God's voice. Can I tell you, in our society right now, people want to kill the truth. That's right. That's right. They want to kill the voice of God. That's right. Come on, John. They want to kill what's right and what's wrong. That's right. And there's going to be a time, youngins and grown-ups and whoever else, I'm used to talking to teenagers, that you're going to realize that people want to kill you because of your faith. That's right. And you're going to have to stand up. That's right. You're going to have to stand in the very temple of God, knowing that your enemy is before you, knowing that the ones that trained you. These were the priests and the prophets. These are the ones that taught Jeremiah. This is the people he grew up with. This was his folks. Jeremiah was raised in the school of prophets. that Elijah had put in place. They were teaching him, they were training him, and now that he's been bold enough and the stillness of God and the glory of God has come upon him to preach the truth, the very ones who prepared him are now wanting to kill him. The very ones that prepared him, that taught him, now want to kill him because he's speaking the truth of God.
That's right.
Beware. A day will come.
That's right.
The very ones will want to kill you for speaking the truth of God. So at this point, Jeremiah just gets broken. He hears what they're saying. And can you imagine being a young man that thinks you've been on a mission from God? Doing everything that God's called you to do. Doing everything that God's assigned you to do. Everything God's prepared you to do. Listening in the classes. Learning the scriptures. Learning the word. Learning the history. Being able to come. And then the very people you thought would have your back says, hey, we got to kill him. We can't have this truth spoken. We can't have this spoken. Can you understand why a young man was called wicked? Jeremiah. Because as holy as he was, and as close to God as he was, and as much as he wanted to chase God, he still dealt with the flesh. We still deal with the flesh. And if we're not careful, we're going to the point of the message right now, and we're about to close. If you're not careful, you'll start letting people shape who you are more than you'll let God shape who you are. You'll start being convinced that, man, maybe I missed it. Can I tell you something? If God's speaking to you and you know His voice, there'll be some men and women of God in your life that will affirm that, but majority of the time, the mass majority ain't going to understand what God's doing in your life. You got so many false teachers and false prophets raising up now. And they'll say, hey, if you want your healing, send me $150. Can I tell you, that ain't of God.
That's right.
God don't charge for the healing. That prophet paid on the cross. When he said, by my stripes, you are
Healed.
didn't say nothing about your checking account. But people want to go and they want to listen to that kind of stuff because you can hide underneath that teaching. You can feel good underneath it. You can live the life you want to live without any conviction. There's preachers, and me and Pastor Wayne had talked about this not too long ago, a big church in the area that's coming up all over the place. And they'll preach the very simplicity of the gospel. They'll preach the love side, but they won't get into the judgment side.
That's right.
They'll preach the tolerance because it's all about money. But can I tell you something? One day your money's going to perish.
That's right.
My God is going to be there.
That's right.
My God is going to stand. My God's truth is going to be true. Whatever you want to throw at it, His truth is going to be true. So Jeremiah at this point, man, he's broken. He had preached this revival. He knew God was going to turn the heart of Israel. And the very people higher up said, you know what, we got to kill this kid. And this is what God did. Go to that other scripture I gave you. Then the word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord saying, listen, arise and go down to the potter's house. And there I will cause you to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he was he was working a work on the wheels. And the vessel that he made of the clay was marred in the hands of the potter. So he made it again, another vessel that seemed good to the potter to make it. Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, O house of Israel, can I not do this with you as this potter? Said the Lord. Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are you mine and my hand. God told him, look, if I choose to break everything down in your life, I'm the potter. You're the clay. I'm the potter and you're the clay. This word hit me so hard last night when we went to a Bible study down in Columbus, Georgia. Me and Kenny were sitting there on the couch, and one of my real good friends that I was walking up with, he started kind of like a small group church. His name's Chris Cloud. Some of y'all know him really well. And we were talking about being able to walk in love as Christians and doing what God's called us to do. And we were talking about different situations and things that we face in our life. And Kimi at work's been underneath a lot of persecution by one of her supervisors just because that's what the enemy does.
That's right.
That's what the enemy does. He uses people.
That's right.
You know, God uses people, the devil uses people too.
That's right.
And Chris didn't know anything about any of this. Had no clue what was going on in her life. But he looked at her and he said, Kimi, God told me to tell you to remember who your potter is. Remember who your potter is. Spoke it directly into her life. And Chris told her, he said, because what you need to understand is whoever is shaping you is your potter. Whatever circumstances in your life that is bending you, that's breaking you, that's moving you, that is your potter. I think Jeremiah went through what he went through, and God took him to that place to remind him, Jeremiah, them priests, them prophets, them people, that's not your potter.
That's right.
I am your potter.
That's right.
And my question to you this morning, church, is who is your potter? Who is shaping you? Who is causing you to do? Is it the bills? Is it the stress? Is it the life? Is it the job? Is it the marriage? Is it the finance? Whatever it is, what is breaking you and what is shaping you? And can I tell you, we as a society have gotten really good at painting up our clay jars. We've gotten really good at making our vessels look real, real pretty because we're taught to. But God is looking for a church without spot or without blemish. You know what the fancy thing is about a church without spot or blemish? If you don't have any spots, you don't have any blemishes, you don't have to put on no makeup
That's right.
because you're beautiful already. And God wants His bride to take the makeup off. He wants His church to take the makeup off in a spiritual sense and sit here and say, God, who I am. This is who I am. I'm tired of being shaped by fear, by anger, by emotions, by jobs, by money, by anything else, God. You are alone, my potter.
That's right.
And
That's right.
the only way, this is a real cool thing too, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but, and I'm fast forwarding to the New Testament because I like this part, but talking about the vessels and the clay, and the way that is going to the woman that had the alabaster jar. And it said that her alabaster jar, she broke it at Jesus' feet. You remember that story? And she anointed his feet, and she washed his feet, and she did what she had to do. But the reality is the jar was worth more than the ointment that was in the jar. And the reason the jar was worth so much more ointment is there was a black market in the time to sell fake jars. Because it took people so long, it took potters a long time to make a perfected container. And what happened was they make it and it look all beautiful, then they put it and they heat it. And if you heat it, it's got air in it, right? Or it's got something in it, it's going to cause a crack in the vessel. And a cracked vessel ain't worth anything. So instead of breaking it up and losing all the time in the investment, they do what we do nowadays. And they pasted over it. They glued over it, and then they painted over it. They made it look like it was perfect, when it really wasn't. So to have a perfect alabaster jar, a perfect container, was valuable. And the only way that you could tell is if you had this perfect jar. If this, back in that days, because of the way they did it, the only way you could tell if it was perfect is you would have to take the jar outside. And you would hold it up to the sunlight. And the sun would shine. And you look into the dark side of that jar. And as you're looking into the dark side of the jar, the sun will penetrate where the cracks were. And you could see that it was pasted. There was a different tint there. There was a different clothing. There was something else there. So this morning I challenge you, hold your life up to the sun. Let them look at your life. Is there a crack? Is there something broken? Is there something that you've covered up? Have we forgotten who our potter is? Is there something else that's shaping you and who you are? Because I tell you guys, if it was me, when I got back the other day, I came back out. But I know who my potter is. And I know his voice. And it is only the hand of God that calms me down in places like that.
Don't be discouraged by what people are saying around you.
That's right.
Don't be discouraged about your circumstances. Bring it for God. Break it. Let him have it. And remember, he is your potter.
That's right.
He has a
That's
plan.
right.
He has a plan for you. He has a purpose for you. Are you ready to find it? Or are we ready to be just tossed to and fro in our life like a ship? I was speaking to a friend this morning, and I told him, I said, you know, the thing about it is in life sometimes we feel like we're going up and down on them ocean waves. Everything's going crazy in our life. And when that happened with the disciples, it said Jesus was where? He was asleep, right? In the ship. And if we're the vessel of Christ, when that hail starts going on in our life and everything starts going, sometimes we just need to reach out and say, hey, Jesus, speak up. Speak in my life. Calm this storm. Calm everything else that's going on. If you'll bow your head and close your eyes, we'll get ready to finish out the service. Because God has a plan for you. And if God's moved in your heart and there's something you need to lay down, this altar is for you right now. Just break it. Remember who your Father is and give God the glory in your life. Stop letting everything else shape who you are.
So thankful for the Father, aren't you? Thank you, Pastor John, for that message. We'll keep praying on here. Listen, this morning, whatever you're chasing, whatever's chasing you, today's the day for your deliverance. Amen. We've got a couple that are going to be baptized this morning. I'm going to ask you if you'll go ahead and move in and go ahead and get ready. Eli, Miss Taylor. of new fruit. Amen.
That's right.
It's a time of new beginnings. The folks that are being baptized today they have been taught in a baptismal class what baptism is all about. They don't just come in here expecting to get dunked. And, they know that the water baptism is a physical sign of dying and being buried into a water grave and coming back up. A new creation. And I couldn't be more excited about that. It's one thing to say I'm changed, but it's another thing for other people to say you're changed.
That's right.
The fruit that lives, the fruit that remains. And so this morning, as we baptize these, I want to say thank you for coming to be a part of that. It's an exciting time. So, come on, folks. Mr. Eli, you saw him on the stage this morning playing the guitar.
He plays bass for us.
Amen. I'm excited. I'm excited about what God's doing in his life. And, some people say, well, that's just too young to get baptized. Can I tell you, it's never too early.
That's right.
If God has changed something in your life, it's time to establish that. Amen.
Right.
To start off fresh. I'm going to let Brother Eli tell you all about that right now.
This is my first time in getting baptism by Brother Bobby. Oh, and my sister, when she was my age, she also got baptism by Brother Bobby. So I decided to get baptism by Brother Bobby.
Eli, because of your profession of faith, I baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you, Lord.
I'm super excited about this one. I have watched her from the moment she came in, and I've seen the change in her life. And when she walks in, she's glowing. And as a matter of fact, it's not just when she comes into the church, because when she comes into the church, she never comes alone. She's dragging friends and family, and God's changing their lives. And some of them might not leave here feeling that they're changed, but God's planted seeds in them
That's right.
that will come up in due season. Amen. Because of the faithfulness of this young lady. So I'm going to let her explain to you what's happened in her life.
So God has got me through a lot, and like the last couple of months when I've grown closer and started going to church, I've noticed I'm a lot happier, and I just give that all to Him. So
Ms. Taylor, because of your profession of faith, I baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's the way I want you just to visit for a minute or two. I think Pastor John's got one or two other things we need to do, and we're going to wrap it up. But I wanted if you give me just a few minutes, let us get changed. I want you to come around and just welcome them into the body of Christ. Amen?
Amen.
And give them some love and